This is New Media TV in London. Live stream with confidence. Beyond the headlines. News in its purest form. Welcome to another epic video by the same dedicated team all over the world. If this is your first time on our channels, please don't forget to like, follow us, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. In this episode, we want to address one particular medical condition in pregnant black women. This condition is called Rhesus Disease. Yes, Rhesus Disease. Towards the tail end of the video clip, you will hear from the mouth of a victim who is also a practicing registered nurse in Nigeria. Let's get started. What is Rhesus disease? Rhesus disease is a condition where antibodies in a pregnant woman's blood destroy her unborn baby's blood cells. It's also known as Haemolytic Disease of the fetus and newborn, HDFN. Rhesus disease doesn't harm the mother, but it can cause the baby to become anemic and develop newborn jaundice. Now you may ask, what are the symptoms of Rhesus disease? Symptoms include 1. Yellow coloring of the skin and whites of the eyes, jaundice. 2. Pale coloring because of anemia. 3. Fast heart rate, tachycardia. 4. Fast breathing, tachypnea. 5. Lack of energy. 6. Swelling under the skin. And lastly, 7. Large abdomen. Thanks to modern medicine, Rhesus disease is fairly uncommon these days, but it's worth being aware of just in case you're impacted by it during your pregnancy. This video will help you and your loved ones, and that's why you need to share it with everyone. What causes Rhesus disease? Rhesus disease happens when mum has Rhesus negative blood and the baby in her womb has Rhesus positive blood. Mum must have also been previously sensitized to Rhesus positive blood. This happens when a Rhesus positive woman is exposed to Rhesus negative blood during a previous pregnancy. In most cases, these antibodies aren't produced quickly enough to harm the baby during the mum's first pregnancy, but instead, any positive babies the mum may have in the future are most at risk. The body responds to the positive blood by producing antibodies that fight to attack foreign blood cells, the negative blood of a baby, and destroy them. As the mum doesn't experience any symptoms, the only symptoms will be apparent in the baby. In very early stages, some babies may develop anemia. This can be picked up with what's called a Doppler ultrasound. Newborns may not show obvious symptoms either, and some babies don't develop symptoms until up to 3 months after birth. Physical symptoms in newborns and young babies may include pale skin, fast breathing, jaundice, low muscle tone, yellowing whites of eyes, and poor feeding. Diagnosing Rhesus disease. Your blood will be tested early on in your pregnancy to screen for any diseases as well as checking your blood type. Your baby's blood type may also be tested with a simple blood test of mum. If you have Rhesus negative blood, blood will be taken from your baby's umbilical cord after they are born. This is to check if the antibodies have passed into their blood. How to prevent Rhesus disease? As you will soon discover from a victim and a qualified nurse in Nigeria, Rhesus is a fairly rare disease now, as it's easily prevented with injections of a medication called anti-D immunoglobulin. All pregnant women will be offered blood tests as a part of their routine antenatal tests to establish whether or not they have Rhesus negative blood or Rhesus positive blood. If mum has already been previously sensitized from a previous pregnancy and already developed the antibodies, the injections won't work. If this is the case, the pregnancy will be closely monitored, as will the baby after they are born. How to treat Rhesus disease? If a newborn develops Rhesus disease after being born, there are many treatment routes doctors might consider. After being born, the baby is likely to be admitted to a neonatal unit. For more severe cases, a blood transfusion might be required, but other cases may be treated with phototherapy or an injection of antibodies to prevent red blood cells from being destroyed in the body. In very severe untreated cases, Rhesus disease can result in stillbirths, brain damage, hearing loss, learning difficulties, vision loss, and blindness. Remember that treatment is nearly always effective at treating Rhesus disease, and these cases are very uncommon. This is New Media TV in London.
You know that I'm an only child? Yes. I know I've said it here once or twice, but some people still don't know. And I didn't become an only child because my parents didn't want more children. They wanted more. But something happened. And I'm going to share my story with you guys today. When you go to check for your genotype, your blood group, please check for rhesus factor incompatibility. Check if you have rhesus factor or not. Because it's either you have it or you don't have it, and you're born with it. It's not a disease. It's just an extra thing that is attached to your blood. Now, where the problem usually lies is, if you have rhesus factor, you are rhesus factor positive. If you don't have it, you are rhesus factor negative. Now, the wahala is in when a woman that is rhesus factor negative gets pregnant for a man who is rhesus factor positive. That means the woman is the person who doesn't have it. If you and your husband have it, there's no problem. If both of you don't have it, there's no problem. If you have it and your husband does not have it, there is no problem. But the problem is when you, the woman that will carry the pregnancy, doesn't have it. And that was exactly what happened with my parents. My mom doesn't have rhesus factor in her blood. My dad has. But this rhesus factor does not really show itself during the first pregnancy. So that is why I am here. Now, what do I mean? When you get pregnant for that first time for that man, there's every high possibility that that baby will carry the father's blood, which has rhesus factor. Follow me so that you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, the baby has the father's blood and is growing inside you that doesn't have the rhesus factor. All right? If this baby keeps growing, the baby is going to be exchanging things with you. And your blood will now notice that this baby has something that we don't have. This is a foreign something. And your body will start producing antibodies to fight that thing that is in the baby's blood. But you won't even have any problem. You carry the pregnancy to term, you give birth normally. And then when you've given birth, your body has developed antibodies because of this baby. And they think that foreign something they saw in the baby's blood is danger, so they're trying to fight it. Now you've had this baby, those antibodies are still in your body. There is a medication you are supposed to take to immunize you, to cleanse your blood of those antibodies. If not, from the next pregnancy, they will start fighting it. It's either you miscarry or the baby dies few hours after birth, because the red blood cells of that baby will be destroyed faster than they should, and the baby will die. That is why you start seeing she gave birth and he died. She miscarried and miscarried again and miscarried. Yes, because the woman's body is now fighting her babies because of those antibodies produced then. And that was what happened. I have rhesus factor because I carried it from my dad. But my mom doesn't have it. So after she gave birth to me, the next pregnancies became stories. We kept bearing babies and she having miscarriages up and down. Rhesus factor can cause tears if you don't know what it is. It's not an issue once you know about the medication. And because I don't prescribe things online, I'm not going to tell you the name of the medication. But when you go to the hospital, they will tell you what it is and you buy it. I think one is actually almost 50,000 naira now for one. And you're supposed to take two. You will take one during 28 weeks of pregnancy, and then immediately after birth, you will take the remaining one. So once you have this injection, you're good to go. And when you take it, that means you've cleansed your blood and you're ready for the next pregnancy. You get pregnant again, you take it when you give birth in readiness for another baby. So you keep taking it until you give birth to the number of children you want. So, but when you don't know about it, that is where you see people going to prayer houses trying to pray away the spirit of miscarriage and burying babies. Or healing at Chakwano spiritual. Most times it's just ignorance. Yes. And I don't know how nobody discovered what it was, because the rhesus factor has been there for years. So I don't know how my parents didn't get to know about it. It was even when I became a nurse that I got to know what it was, and then I traced it and I found out that that was what happened. By then it was late. My father was already long gone. So don't fall into that trap that my parents fell into. Know what it is now. Women are getting aware of it every day by day. When they come to give birth, they come with their injection. They will even be the one that will tell you, "Nurse, I came with my injection." Once they give birth, you give it to them and you go home safe and sound. So rhesus factor is small, but it can cause a lot of havoc. So know what it is. It won't stop you from getting married to who you want to get married to. It's not like genotype that is an issue in getting married. No, it doesn't matter. If your husband have it and you don't have it, no problem. You can get married, but just keep your money handy to buy the injection. Once you get pregnant, go and buy it and keep. 28 weeks, you take the first dose. After birth, within 72 hours, you take the second dose. Check it out.
That's it for now. If you have enjoyed this video broadcast and any of our live streams so far, don't forget to like us, rate us, follow us, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Smash the notification bell so that you get notified when we post a new video or live streaming. Think different. Think beyond the headlines. Your engagement and interaction is the best reward for us. New Media TV. Beyond the headlines. Live stream with confidence. See you in our next video and our live stream.